All right, go.
All right. Um, so, Bola,
Hi,
did I just wait? You were supposed to introduce yourself.
I'm Bola,
Okay. And I'm Watch.
and we're coming unfiltered, and we wanted to start.
No, 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 no. We don't want
No?
to start yet.
Oh, okay.
We want to let people know kind of what this is and where the concept derived from.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, this is coming unfiltered. You know, as she stated, it's Bola. I'm Watch.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to look us up on Facebook. 'Cause you're not gonna find us. But we we're friends, and we have conversations a lot about a lot of things. And I feel like our conversations are always pretty candid. You know, one thing I think that we do well is like we articulate our thoughts well, and I think I mean, to us, we sound good. We sound like after our conversations, we're like, damn, I learned something today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that we both have like different worldviews.
Certainly.
Certainly, and like, but shared experience. So we do like, connect at certain points. So it's just like one of those conversations that you have with a friend, like that could actually go forever. And therefore, you should share with people.
But she don't want to be talking to me forever. Though.
I really don't.
She be
I
ready
really
to go.
don't.
She be ready to go. So she's just trying to play nice.
And also, I think that we're like really at a place in time where everyone has a platform to state their opinion, and that becomes problematic because everybody has a platform to state their opinion, and not everybody has an opinion that should be shared. So
Yeah.
I think that both of us do have like interesting perspectives that are worth talking about. And
well, I mean we won't be the judge of that.
we won't be the judge. We hope that you guys will agree with me.
The 3 people listening to this, we hope that they will think that we are awesome to listen to. But yeah, so coming unfiltered, that's what this is. Call it a podcast, call it a written, little show or whatever it is you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna be giving you content, on a consistent basis. Content discussions that range from relationships to what's going on in society, culturally, socially. So we're gonna just be throwing nuggets here and there, giving our viewpoints, and yeah, we're so stay tuned, and we have a show for you now.
Yes.
Yeah. So you wanna talk about you wanna introduce that?
Yes. So our first topic is actually something that has been all over the internet, and from the beginning of time has always kind of like been a very controversial issue. And we saw it with Serena Williams just recently being engaged.
Uh-oh.
We saw it with very viral videos of a certain Caucasian woman.
Oh yeah, we did.
Hitting the shucky.
Oh, yeah.
We saw it.
Don't act like you don't know.
We see it, quite often. And so we're gonna start off talking about interracial dating and what our kind of viewpoints are, along with just like what general, perspectives are. So
yeah, I mean, interracial dating. Well, I think it's important to kind of note how we came up with the topic. The video that went viral. Probably a lot of you guys have seen it. There was a wedding that took place, and there was a young lady who was of the Caucasian race who, was marrying to a strong, handsome African man. At least he appeared to be, But the wedding was definitely African, probably a Nigerian wedding. And the video went viral because, they had like this choreographed dance where, they were hitting the shoki, you know what I'm saying? She was showing the moves. She was hitting the shoulders, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, for me, I was impressed. I thought it was cool. You know what I'm saying? I liked it on Facebook. I hearted it on Instagram, double tapped. You know what I'm saying? But there were some folks that gave me some backlash about it when I tried to, share it. So I think yeah, Bola, you threw some shade at me. You ain't throw some shade?
I didn't throw shade.
You
I
did.
was one of those neutral people who kind of like watched it go viral and didn't comment. I may have liked one, but then it like got bigger than just the one like, and it was just like everybody was sharing it, and it was just something to celebrate. This was something to be proud of, beat your chest about, and I don't necessarily think so.
Why? Why? Like, because I mean, if you look at the video, and obviously there's a lot of people, women in particular, black women in particular. Yeah, I'm saying it.
Mhm.
You know, who um, felt, who feel the same way you feel. You
Mhm.
know, and I just want to know, you know, what is it about the video? What does it represent that makes you not impressed?
I'm glad you asked. So, I think that when the topic of interracial dating comes into play, people don't actually um, think about it with, I don't know, a diverse train of thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of things that aren't considered. I think that a lot of people consider interracial dating as like the staple of social cohesion or like racial progress. And it's like, yeah, the white girl is like learning her man's culture,
Mm-hmm.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But in actuality, there is a certain threat, one of self preservation, that everybody feels when they see two people together that are from two different cultural backgrounds. I also think that a lot of people do have the white savior complex. Like in these conversations, people don't ever talk about um, the net worth or what these people are coming into these relationships, what they're sharing or what they're losing even. I mean, I think that when Serena Williams got engaged to, I'm sorry, I don't know the guy's name,
The white guy.
the white guy.
Yeah.
His net worth and hers were there were extreme disparities. She's worth millions more than him. And so like for the black community, people might feel threatened by that. So now this wealth that this black woman has accrued, even though ain't nobody want her, she tried.
Oh man. You ain't lying.
She ended up with this white man, and so we're like transferring wealth essentially, right? So like that's that self-preservation threat that people feel. I would also just like to go on record to say that I don't have an issue either way. Like I'm not like for or against interracial dating. I just look at it from different perspectives.
So you're saying you're indifferent. You're
I'm,
saying
I'm,
you don't
I'm
have
really
an
indifferent.
opinion.
I'm very neutral. I've tried with white guys.
Oh, you did.
I'm too.
Our male audience wants to know.
I haven't dated one like seriously, but I've been on dates with white
Why
guys.
not?
Because it doesn't work.
Okay.
They're intimidated by me. I think that they're very passive. The ones that I've dated.
Does
Sorry.
it have to do with your race?
I think it does. It
Okay.
does. I mean, the first date with one gentleman that I had, he talked about xenophobia and how his um, grandma is French and was very racist, and he was not. Like, that was our first date conversation. So, like, you can already see the type of anxiety he came in there with. So, and we would talk, and we talked about it.
Right. And it'll be interested. It'll be interesting to see, you know, like what other black women listen to this podcast. You know, what similar experience, if any, if they have experiences with white men, if it's similar to yours, or if they can basically kind of see where you're coming from because you know they've witnessed that stuff. But I know for me, as a black Nigerian Igbo man, all right.
That's layered.
I didn't have a problem with it. I can see how, like you said, another race, our race, I can see how a Nigerian woman or a black woman or African woman, whatever it is, can look at that and say, I mean, I can do that. I can do that even better, and that wouldn't be viral. Why is her video with her man going viral?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that celebration of, I remember it was one girl who wrote "Celebration of Mediocrity." You know what I mean? And it's just something that white people have always been glorified for. You know what I mean? But to me, when I saw that video, I didn't see that. But maybe I'm just conditioned to think that, you know.
Which is a true thing. Like, I mean, social conditioning like has a lot to do with why the video went viral in the first place. The fact that white people, are celebrated for having rhythm when black people have been dancing their butts off to all kinds of, rhythms forever. So it's just like there's that, or just for self-expression. And then they get criticized for it. Like we talk about it in sports, and I'm not going to get into sports because we're going to go on a different track. But when black people celebrate with dance and praise in the way that they've always been taught, like it's like frowned upon. But then this white lady did the cute two steps, and everybody was like, "Ah, oh my god!" And I mean that I can't deal with. But I do have a few other points. I don't think that interracial dating has to do with just love alone. People are just like, oh, let them do what they want to do. Like, you love who you love. There are power dynamics, and I do think that they're like perceived power dynamics. I think that, people do assume a lot of different things, and it's just very interesting. I mean, and some people get married for upper mobility. Some people get married for security.
How about for the people who get married for love? We're talking about exclusively.
We don't know that, but that's what people like to frame it in.
See, but people see that video, and I think a lot of people see love. And as I'm saying that, she's whipping her head, rolling her eyes.
What does love look like?
I mean, why can't love look like that? I didn't
say it doesn't.
No, but what I'm saying is I'm not necessarily just speaking to you. I'm speaking to the other women who feel as if that's an artificial, like contrived emotion, not necessarily like organic love. And to me, I feel like if that woman was a black woman, I think a lot of people would have had the attitude of, oh, black love at its finest. Everybody would have everybody who commented on our thread who was black would have been like, this is goals personified.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But you replace that black woman with a white woman, same dance moves, same celebration, same joy on their faces.
I wouldn't say same dance moves.
Okay, so you know what? And that's fine, because I know every woman, and I'm just not excluded to women, even though I want to, but it's 2017, I'm gonna include everyone. That's what we do nowadays, right? So I want to branch away from the wedding, because I know a lot of women, because I've talked to some girls about this before, and everybody was dogging the fact that her dance moves were mediocre. So what we're going to do is move away from the dance moves, and we're going to make it more relatable, right?
Yeah.
So let's say, you're at a coffee shop. You see a fine brother walk in, right? And all of a sudden, behind him, Becky. I'm sorry. Can I call her Becky on this podcast? I'm going to call her Becky. Becky walks in, she holds the door, they hold hands, and they walk into the line and order some lattes. You, Bola, look me in my eye and tell me you're not going to feel a certain type of way.
I'm not saying, okay, I'm still very indifferent. I mean, I
you're going to feel a type of
and
way.
I see that often. I see it all the time, and sometimes I flinch, sometimes my hairs just rise a little bit. I don't have like, a strong opinion. Like, I'm not like, I hope her, latte spill or she burn her mouth. I'm just like, I just wonder, okay? And I just wonder about their lived experiences. I wonder his own background and hers. I don't necessarily think that all black men should be with black women, but I do think sometimes it's a little bit more palatable to date outside for everyone sometimes. I've talked to black men who are like, oh, I prefer, a different culture than me. It's more interesting, etc. Because black women have these strong stereotypes. And even quite recently, there was in this Facebook group about dating, I saw someone posting stats about how black women marriages are less successful than white women. What does that even mean? So like things like that, like we're always being like kind of pitted against each other, and they're just like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? As you just did, and you put me in that position to have an opinion when I necessarily, don't.
That's fair, but the reason why, and that's fair. That's a nice way of answering a question without answering a question. But the thing is, you just mentioned it right now on your own. Your hairs went up. So if your body is reacting that way because Becky walks in with Obina, I want to know why that bothers you.
It bothers me because the white savior complex is a real thing.
Okay, explain that to our viewers our audience who doesn't know what that is.
What that looks like
I don't know what the hell that is.
That looks like Jesus coming to save you in white skin with long hair.
That's dramatic.
It is because I mean, for any culture, when they bring a white person home, if the white person looks like something, at least it's seen as successful. Like, there are people who will say don't marry outside of your culture, but they would also accommodate a white person being brought home, and that is that white savior complex where it's just like, oh, this is good enough for me,
and that's fair. I totally get that. So when is it, or what is it that you can see? And I'm challenging our 3 viewers who are listening to this right now. I'm challenging you as well. What is it that you can see that can make you think, all right, when you see that interracial couple walk in, that guy walk in with that girl, what is it that you can see that says, all right, you know what? This looks like love. Because if you saw
I never said it never looked like love. Okay, I'm not challenging that.
Okay, so
I'm just challenging the way that people think about it. It doesn't necessarily mean racial progress.
Here's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Every time, so basically you're saying when you see that black man walk in with that white woman, you're going to think of that complex automatically. What is it going to take for you to not think of that complex? Because I think I'm going to get some flack for this. And I understand this is rightfully so. But at the same time, Becky's get a lot of flack. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, Becky comes in with very, very good intentions, and she really, truly has the urge and the ambitions to make peace and, like, really get to know people.
Okay. I'm gonna stop you there because did you watch the movie? What's it called?
That'll be a good one.
Dear White People.
Yeah.
And so there's also the stereotype of, like, black men being very animalistic and desirable in bed, and there's this, like, whole, like, stereotype of black men having, being well endowed, which isn't necessarily true. But the thing is that, so I do think that people also forget to think that white people also fetishize people of color, like, from Hispanics all the way to black people, like any person of color. Asians, they're always fetishized by white people because they're used to Becky, and Becky can be a little limp sometimes. I mean,
damn, limp. What Becky do to be limp? Can I tell you? I don't want to get off track, but let me give you the name of a Becky who isn't limp that a lot of brothers like.
Okay.
Margaret Robbie.
I have no idea who that is.
She is the woman who played Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad. Google her up right now.
Okay.
That woman, the last thing she is limp.
And her name is Margaret?
She is the antithesis of limp. Margaret, yeah. She's like...
Margaret what?
Robbie. Yeah, she's looking her up right now.
And what makes her not limp?
I mean, she's just all that in a bag of chips. Watch a movie. Just watch a movie with her in it.
I've seen her.
She is all that in a bag of chips.
I mean, she's not limp, but I'm telling you, it's not a lot of Margaret Robbie.
No, there's not. There's not a lot of Margaret Robbie, whatever. Sorry, Margaret, if you're listening to this, I know you're not, but I'm a big fan of yours. You can holler at me anytime.
Coming in like with this blank slate, be whoever you are. I'm gonna treat, and then that also is what gives her that leverage against other women, because they're coming in like, these men have scored me before, etc. And I'm not generalizing, I apologize, but I'm just saying. So, like, she comes in with this clean slate, which is also the white savior complex, because she can do no wrong, and she's just like, I want to know you. I know black women who have been with Tyrone forever, accepted Tyrone broke ass, let him borrow her car, take him wherever, did all of that, and then you see people like, what's the guy that plays Luke Cage?
I don't know his name.
I don't know his name, but you guys know who I'm talking about. He's married to a white woman, and his whole justification is, she held me down. Nate Parker's, she held me down. What black woman has not?
So see, but here's the thing. I
Tell
think
the black man
see,
down.
but I think what it is that you're also doing is you are disregarding the many black women that have been married by black men because black women have held them down. Yes, not every single black man is going to marry a black woman who holds him down. Just like every single black man is not going to marry a white woman who holds him down. You know what I mean? So I mean,
But
I
that's
think
always the justification, and not that it needs to be justified at all. But I'm just saying that's always the response. It's just hey, so what was your attraction to Becky? Oh well, she accepted me for me. Who was denying you who you were?
Can I address that real quick? Because I had a conversation with a friend. He's in the tech space now, doing very well for himself. He went to a high school not too far away from mine, and he was considered a absolute nerd. Ain't no black girl wanted to touch him with anything longer than a 12, 13-inch pole. You know what I'm saying? And he used to hang out with a lot of white kids because those were the only kids who basically accepted him.
Okay.
So, you know, he was kind of a little bigger, chubbier then, slimmed down, you know what I'm saying? Has his money, he's a professional now. So, I mean, he's suited and booted all the time. And now, you know, got a lot of sisters checking for him. But the thing is, he grew up, you know, because sisters weren't checking for him then, so he kind of got acclimated to the Beckys, to the point where that's, you know, he got used to that. And there's a lot of situations where, you know, you have a black man who maybe grew up in the suburbs, you know, a place that's, you know, majority white. Not everybody comes from, you know, the south side, you know, the west side or some.
Okay, but does that speak more to, okay, so you're a black man.
I am.
I can imagine that you're always under criticism, and you're also an African man. So you're always under, like, all of these pressures to be whatever it is that people want you to become.
Right.
Just like black women are, right? Because I'm speaking from my own shared experience,
the struggle's
right?
Real, yo.
The struggle's real. So, like, you have these, like, you know, your parental expectations, you have societal expectations, and a lot of the reason that black women and black men do have this strife is because we are always criticizing each other. So we're just never enough, and we don't learn that just because, like, we learn it. It's more of it's a socialization. So, like, Becky's coming, learning, you know, that you are who you are. Like, be you. Like, accept yourself. And we come in like,
wow,
Gina, you don't get your entire life. I'm just speaking from my own.
I just want to apologize to all the Beckys listening to this
I love Becky's.
Right now.
My best friend growing up was a white girl because none of the black people accepted me, and I grew up in the suburbs. I swear to goodness, I was looking at pictures today. I have a picture right there. But what I'm saying is, it's just like, because of those very different cultural experiences, is why certain people are more palatable and why people have these preferences, is what I'm saying. I'm just saying that we shouldn't discredit or minimize these things. It's fine. Love who you love, like, wherever love takes you. And sometimes it does take, you know, someone from a different culture to really appreciate the gifts that you do have. And that's it. It's not necessarily unfortunate, but it's interesting to see. And I think that is the issue that black women have. It's just like, I tried so hard with Rob and Kanye West. He was with that fine black Delta lady, and he went and got him a Kim Kardashian.
You talking about Amber Rose?
And an Amber Rose, and a Kim K. Same difference.
Oh.
Kim Kardashian, Amber Rose, Kanye West.
No, what Delta woman did he leave?
That fine black lady. You wanted me to look her up?
I mean, that's fine. We don't have to. But
he
I mean,
got on and left her ass for a white girl.
Okay, but
they were engaged.
See, no, I understand that, but at the end, first of all, Kanye West is not the best.
Kim Kardashian doesn't count as Armenian, and I wish people would stop it.
Oh, see,
it.
Now you.
I want to see one single thing that she has taken from Armenian culture. She even changed her eyebrows. Like, I'm not gonna deal with that. I won't.
Listen.
I'm not.
Listen.
I'm not.
The girl is Armenian, all right? It's in her blood. Black women, stop taking away what it is that's in her blood. Now, if you want to sit up here and say she doesn't practice Armenian culture, or she doesn't
subscribe to it at all.
I mean, how do you know?
Because she was parading her ass around with Paris Hilton.
Wow. So if you don't want to pretty much be embroiled with your culture. You just hang
She
out with
doesn't have to be,
with
but
Paris Hilton.
her mother is not Armenian. Her father has since passed.
Oh, so because her father passed, now she's denounced of her Armenian roots?
She's not denounced of it. She's the one that's not choosing to subscribe to it.
Listen,
I
Kim
didn't make that decision for her. Kim is white.
The fact,
white.
if you do
white.
not,
white.
First of all, Kim Kardashian, if you're listening to this podcast, I want to apologize on behalf of.
She knows she white. That's all she was trying. That was
I
her
want to apologize
aspiration.
to Kim Kardashian. Kim,
You've reached
we love
it,
you.
honey.
Bola loves you. She really does. But
everyone loves Kim.
No, but there's a lot of profound hate for Kim, you know, and I think a lot of that has to do, especially, you know, from women of color.
She with Kanye.
And a lot of that has to do with Kanye. A lot of that has to do with the fact that she is famous and nobody really knows why. And that's, now, if you're upset with the latter, that's more acceptable. But if you're upset because Kanye has made her his wife, you have to more so take that up with Kanye. You know what I'm saying? And I know Kanye gets his flack, but, you know, a lot of girls out here bashing Kim Kardashian, saying that she's not Armenian, which I think is ridiculous.
That isn't the conversation, but that is a form of interracial dating. So would you not consider Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's relationship interracial?
It is interracial.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's multiple races.
I thought she was black.
Who? No, she Armenian.
And where does that fall?
That's
white.
That's she's not white American. I'll tell you that. You know, I think where is it? I think it's from that upper European region. I mean,
all
listen,
those brown people up there.
Listen.
Whew.
Wow. All right, Kim. Again, I apologize. Bola, she's had a few too many.
Okay, watch, listen. I think that my point has been very well articulated. I don't have an issue with it.
Has it?
It seems so, but I just think I'm looking at it from a very realistic standpoint. I am not giving anybody any slack. Not black men, not black women, not the Beckys and the Dans of the world. No one's getting slack.
I just want to be clear about what it is that I'm saying. I think that there is not a situation where a lot of women can look at a black man and a white woman together for the first time and not assume that there was some works of the devil that took place to now have those two.
It's not necessarily
together.
A work of the devil, but there are certain social stereotypes that do exist within those relationships, and that is what bothers people. And most times when and also you don't see a lot of people from black neighborhoods dating interracially. Right? Okay. You may see biracial people from the hood dating and with black people, but you don't see people. You usually see this in suburban cultures and things like that. So what does that mean? I'm asking you that. What does that mean? Why is that more common?
But I will also tell you this, because you see a lot of, and I will get to the entertainers. I'm going to pick on the entertainers a little bit. You see that basketball player who grew up in the hood gets some money, go to the NBA.
Run now, to Becky.
Okay, so now that trumps your notion that brothers from the hood are just sticking with sisters. Now they're sticking with sisters because they ain't out the hood. But they still in the hood. But once you get that $1 million contract playing for the Bulls or the Lakers or the whatever New York Giants. Now, I mean, last time I checked, Odell, I love you, man. You got to catch the ball next time you jagged in the playoffs.
Okay, so my question is, so with that being said, is interracial dating a staple for racial progression? So, is this propelling us forward? Is this going to take us, a step further to mending race relations?
I think it does. I think it could. I think people have to be educated about, first of all, their own race. They have to be educated about the race of their significant other. They have to be just educated about different races as a whole. And I think our formal education system doesn't do a good job of appropriately educating us about different races and their true history. But that's another topic for another day. But I think what does kind of mend that ignorance is having a black man, or just different races coming together, opening their eyes, and now witnessing firsthand different cultures, and now coexisting, choosing to coexist together.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I feel like that is a sign of progression. So, I mean, I think it could be a good thing, but it needs to be done for the right reasons.
What
Don't
are the wrong reasons?
The wrong reasons is, oh, like, I'm I'm that dude. I'm trying to get that girl who's gonna make me be that dude even more. So I'm gonna marry that Margaret Robbie. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to the club or